Let's dive deep into the history of our great nation and talk about the heroes that fought for our freedom.
That's right. Let's talk about our heroes like Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, Gregorio del Pilar, and Emilio Aguinaldo.
Let's focus on our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, and the novels that he has made. Up next is the latest episode of Noli Tangere. Hatred towards Padre Damaso filled Ibarra's heart and mind. To begin with, Padre Damaso is an arrogant and pedantic priest. A shameless loudmouth, he is unafraid of slandering non-religious citizens who thinks undermine his power. Because of this hatred, Ibarra wanted to kill Padre Damaso and even attempted to kill him one night. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful as Padre Damaso stopped him. After that night, Padre Damaso cursed Ibarra and told himself he would capture him and make him suffer. The search for Ibarra has commenced, with their primary goal is to capture him and put him in jail. Padre Damaso took this opportunity to make Maria Clara and Ibarra break up. Since Ibarra was convicted, Padre Damaso arranged the marriage of Maria Clara to Linares. Padre Damaso called Maria Clara to inform her of his plan on the marriage, and as expected, Maria Clara is enraged.
I don't understand why you're forcing me to marry a man whom I don't even know and love. The one that I love is Ibarra, and you cannot change that.
Clara, I don't know why you want that man whose soul is as black as the night. That man Ibarra tried to kill me, your father. How can you possibly let me accept him to marry you when he is a killer?
You don't know him like the way I know him. I love him and I don't want to marry some random stranger just because you detest him. If you can't understand that, then this conversation is over.
Maria Clara, don't you dare walk out on me, you disrespectful child!
After the conversation of Padre Damaso and Maria Clara, she went out and met Ibarra.
Ibarra, is it true that you attempted to kill my father? What were you thinking? My father hates you so much that he wanted us to break apart by making me marry Linares.
I had my reason why I did that. But as for your marriage with Linares, accept it. I want you to marry Linares because I plan to overthrow the government. And for that to be successful, your marriage with him will be used as a decoy. With Linares' influence, you will be able to obtain lots of information about the governments and the friars. Help us, Maria. Clara, I hope you'll understand and help us. It's the only way for us to stop this nasty government.
I will do what you want, Ibarra.
2 days later, Maria Clara received a news that Ibarra was imprisoned because of Padre Damaso. The jail is another place second to hell. It was a dark room with one window, with no proper bed to sleep. Every morning, a servant would come to his cell and give him food. Of course, Ibarra would not be staying in his cell, as he plans on escaping. He will not give up and believes that justice and equality will prevail even if he has to suffer and sacrifice everything.
I need to escape tonight.
Fortunately, Ibarra saw scissors on his desk, so he decided to see the bars of the windows. In his luck, the bars in the window are not that thick, so he was able to do it successfully. As he escaped, he saw a guard who was in charge of making rounds at night. And when Ibarra saw him, he quickly punched him before the guard could even react and strike him. He escaped successfully. 1 month later,
We are gathered here in the presence of God, family, and friends to unite Linares and Maria Clara in holy matrimony. Before we continue with this holy matrimony between Maria Clara and Linares, is there anyone who would object to this marriage? If none, then let us continue with this sacred ceremony. Maria Clara, Do you accept Linares as your husband and be with him through thickness and thin?
I do.
Linares, do you accept Maria Clara as your wife and be with her through thickness and thin?
I do.
In the name of the Holy Spirit, I now solemnly declare you husband and wife.
Throughout the wedding, Ibarra peeked behind the door as he watched Maria Clara in front of the altar with another man. Maria on the other side saw Ibarra who's watching her. Ibarra was able to escape with the help of Ilyas. Ibarra and Ilyas intended to overthrow the government, but they were not in a hurry. They devised a strategy to fight the government in the long run, and as a result, they decided to gather enough weapons and allies.
Thank you for saving me, Elias. As I wanted to defeat the Spaniards, we should do it slowly but surely. As of now, we should gather some weapons and allies.
It's for our country, and I'll do anything to avenge the lives of our fellow countrymen and make the government and friars pay for all the abuses that they've done to us.
We have to devise a very strategic plan. The Spaniards are tough and smart. We should not make a move that would be predictable. We should be wise and unite as Filipinos to end this tyranny.
Our plan is to enter the premises unnoticed and strike them at their most vulnerable state. We need Maria Clara's help in order for this plan to be successful.
Maria Clara plays a vital piece in this plan. The Spaniards will not even bother to doubt her. You are right, Elias. Let Maria Clara be our Trojan horse.
We will also recruit other Filipinos who are willing to fight with us. I know a lot of people in my area who are victims of the oppression of the friars. Like us, they are also sick with everything that's happening in our motherland.
My late father, Don Rafael, had a Chinese friend who engaged in illegal trade. From what I know, he is capable of delivering us weapons that we can use for this revolt. I will contact him and order weapons. I will use my remaining resources as payment.
That's great. We have already achieved a very strategic plan. What we need to make sure is to execute our plan perfectly. If not, then we would fail.
You are right, Elias. We need to be precise in every step we take. The true living God is on our side. Let us not forget our strongest weapon, prayer. And with that, this tyranny shall end, and justice shall be served.
As Maria Clara, she acted as a spy for Ibarra. She was exploiting the government's and the friars' plan, as well as assisting Ibarra and their allies with escape routes, times when they could enter the vicinity unnoticed, and secret holes where they could enter the enemy's base and strike from within. So they planned for months and months until they fought the right moment when the enemy would be most vulnerable. And that moment came with the arrival of Christmas, a season of joy and celebration, but not for the opposition. It was a time to strike and retaliate against the government and the friars, eventually bringing Maria Clara back and reclaiming the land that had always been theirs. As Christmas Eve approached, the troops on Ibarra's side began to mobilize. It was now or never. This was their only chance and opportunity to reclaim their land. So they used the map given to them by Maria Clara, and as the government and friars began to celebrate, the troops began to enter the secret passageway leading to the inside of the mansion.
I believe that we need both loads of weapons in order for us to succeed in this revolution. With the ways things are going, we need all the help we can get. All I think that we need more troops. And for that, Elias, I'll assign you to find men who are willing to die for this country.
Maria Clara has provided us with a strategy for defeating the Spaniards. We should make use of the maps that we have right now. We must enter the area through this specific tunnel, which will lead us to the heart of the enemy's base. And there is no battle that we can't win with the troops I'll find.
Thank you very much, my friend. I don't know what I would do without your assistance in this incredible journey to freedom. For our sake, I'll make us certain that this battle is ultimately won by us, a battle that will allow us to reclaim our beautiful country and defeat the abusers who have made our lives difficult.
All I want is to bring back our children's smiles. Since the Spaniards arrived in this country, they have only brought chaos and misery. All we need to do is kill all of our enemies, and we'll be able to live a happy and peaceful life once more.
Hell. Ibarra thought this place was hell. There was no more turning back, and their enemy would soon arrive and they would attack and have to fight till death.
Sugod!
Ibarra shouted. The second he saw the enemies halfway, all 100 of his men went charging forward with their weapons. Ibarra had a sword and went for the leader. He swung hard at his body. The leader did the same to him. Both their swords were powerful. No one had a hand up. Wind blew between the two warriors as they squared off. The hulking leader towered over Ibarra as he brandished his sword. The look Padre Democrito gave to Ibarra as if he was a bottle of poison.
The weak must die. I am going to kill you!
You have killed many people. Your sword is covered in blood. It won't cut as well anymore.
Ibarra ran towards him at full speed ahead. He slashed Padre Democrito's arm with his sword, making gushes of blood spill out, causing the Padre to fall down on his knees and screech in pain. Ibarra grinned at the successful hit. Ibarra's troop noticed that what he did and started coming towards him with their weapons in hand. His eyes darted in all directions to capture a glimpse of the new foes he had encountered. He witnessed it, the heavy rock heading straight for his head. With its crippled and uneven appearance, he knew he would drift out of consciousness back its blunt attack.
Ibarra didn't know how much time had passed when he finally opened his eyes. As he stood to his feet, he saw his army still fighting the enemies. The rain mixed with the blood on the battlefield, filling Ibarra's nose with the scent of earth and iron. He licked the salty sweat from his lips and continued marching forward. He could barely hear his shoes squish through the mud over the shouting and screaming of the Spaniards and his troops around him. The war was slowly coming to an end, with all of Ibarra's troops fighting and killing all of the government officials, as well as all of the Spanish people who had corrupted the Philippines and abused their power. Every single one of them was murdered, and it was not an easy battle, because soldiers from the Spanish government defended the government and the friars. But all the screaming was gone, and silence filled the battlefield.
It's over. It's finally over.
But as the night came to an end and the sun rose, some Filipinos died and some had injuries as they fought the Spaniards. This scene which Ibarra saw, blood, dead bodies, and even himself getting injured, including some civilians who got included because they didn't evacuate immediately, made him sad and hurt at the same time because his Filipino brothers really fought till the end of their breath for the freedom they seek. But eventually Ibarra remembered something. Before the war began, they had a pagtitipon where all the Filipino who fought the Spaniards said something that made them all agree and boost their confidence to win the battle.
Many Filipino people got injured and some of our people died. All I want is freedom without us getting hurt.
Don't feel guilty. Don't you remember what they said before we fought the Spaniards? Even if they died or we died, we are happy to do so. For the love and freedom of this country, we will do everything, and that's what we all agree.
It was clear that Ibarra's team would win. They were able to eliminate all of their opponents, and months of planning eventually led to victory. After the revolution, the people of the country were able to live in peace and freedom. The government was responsive to the needs of the people, and they were able to enjoy the benefits of democracy. The country prospered, and the people were able to enjoy a high standard of living. The revolution was a success, and the people were able to create a better life for themselves. Thanks to the revolution, the people were able to achieve their dreams and aspirations. They were finally able to live in a free and democratic society, and this was a great accomplishment to everyone, and the people should be proud of what they had accomplished.
2 weeks later, Maria went out to the town with Elias to meet Ibarra. As we see our country rise once again, we were able to see the dreams once again growing in the faces of the people. Maria knows even though Ibarra is not saying anything, she knows that Ibarra once again needs to go for good. So she hugged him tightly and gave him a poem. While Ibarra is in the boat, he stares at Maria and waves and starts reading the poem and starts crying.
Love is the light that never dies. It's the flame that always burns. It's the force that never falters. It's the power that never ends. Love is the only thing that never changes. It is the only thing that we can always count on. It is the only thing that we can always believe in. Love is the only thing that will never let us down. It is the only thing that will always be there for us. It's the only thing that we can always count on. Love is the only thing that will never let us down. Even if we fail each other, our love will stay. My dearest Ibarra.